We have a nostalgic week once again this week, as we're building up towards those famous names of Eubank, Benn going at it. When you look back at the fight that these two young gentlemen had earlier on this year, that must have exceeded everybody's expectation. Not necessarily because of the storylines building into it, but everything that happened on the night. It was like, you've mentioned WWE a couple of times.
It was showtime.
It was like that.
It was absolutely.
But unscripted.
The roar that went out from that crowd when Chris Eubank Sr. got out of his car was like I won't say it's like the Pope arrived, that would be disrespectful, but certainly the King of England walked out of the car. And that's show business. And that is exploitation, and Eubank, by the way, Eubank Sr. knows exactly what he's doing. You know, someone said to me during that night, you know, it's a shame Eubank Sr. is not going to be here. I said, are you mad? They went, well, no, he's not. He said he's not coming. Just do me. I know this guy inside out. He's never going to be a yard away from the roar of the crowd or the smell of the grease paint. He's a showman, and the whole show was built like that. Technically, your boxing news people will tell you that wasn't the greatest technical fight I've ever seen. But it was enthusiastic, and it was controversial, and it had some interesting narrative bylines. You know, a much bigger man against a much smaller man. Of course, the big byline is it's Ben Eubank. But the only regret, I don't have very many regrets in my life at all, but my one regret is I originally set out Ben Eubank 3 to be the first pay-per-view show under pay-per-view. You know, pay-per-view was being thought about at that time, but that was the show to launch pay-per-view. And it would have been humongous because of Eubank Benn 1 in 1990 and Eubank Benn 2 in 94, 95.
93. Why did we get part 3?
Because I think in simple terms, Nigel Benn believed he'd been robbed. And he's a very emotional man, as is his son. The apple don't fall far from the tree. Eubank had stayed loyal with me for something that I shall never forget. And it was impossible once Nigel had signed with Don King, who brought in Frank Warren on his UK side. It was impossible to get them together. It was just too big a mountain, and they had their own career paths. In Eubank's case, he went with Sky. Had that 8-fight deal, which I think he did 6 of them or something. But there's a lot of money in those days. But, you know, you have to have the dream. You have to dream big, because otherwise, what they say, you know, shoot for the stars. If you fall on the top of the trees, it's not bad. Don't go for the top of the trees because you fall on your backside on the floor.
Is that the one fight?
Yeah, the one fight I wish I'd have made and never made. There's only one.
That's pretty good going for the amount of time you've been in this game.
If we don't get what I really want now, there might be 2. Because I have to see, before I go, I have to see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua.
What's your gut instinct on that?
Knock out Joshua, no problem. Bring it on.
And then, do you think we'll get it?
Yes. I think money eventually talks.
Yeah.
I mean, again...
That's that. For me as a fan, that has to happen in the UK, though, doesn't it? For the British fight.
No, I think it has to happen twice. Once in Riyadh and once in the UK. I think you can milk it.
Okay.
But if you get it, you know, then you're in the business side. It's a huge amount of money, a 2-fight deal for that. And they both deserve it. They've both been great champions. And I hope, really, win, lose or draw, after those 2 fights. If it's 2-0 to anyone, I reserve the right to say there should be a third if it goes 1-1, and you never know, that's boxing. But when that is finished, whether it's a trilogy or whatever, it would be really nice for both of them to say, that's enough. They've both made a lot of money. They've both been a credit. Ups and downs. There's been ups and downs, bumpy roads, but they deserve the acclaim they've had for what they've done for British boxing. And the last peg they've got to put on the clothesline is those 2 fighting. Then they can look in the mirror and say, I didn't let anyone down. I looked after my family first. I looked after myself second. And I looked after the British public third. End of story. Give them both a knighthood. Throw the gloves away.